So first what I will do is I will ask our two speakers to introduce themselves. Oh, by the way, I'm Dan Lee. I'm from Raise Partners. If you didn't get that before. I'm going to ask FONG-CHAN to introduce herself first and what she does related to eco-friendly lifestyle. And then I will ask Rosie, and then we will have a fun surprise.
Okay. Good afternoon. Great to see you all. I'll do it very short. I'm running an interior design studio. I'm an architect by profession, and I'm from Denmark. What I try to do in my business, and especially for interior design, is to advise my clients the best possible ways of doing things more sustainable. In my industry, it's heavy, it's costly, and as you actually are witness to, most of what's happening right in Ho Chi Minh City is something that goes very fast and very cheap. So my advice to all of you is, as consumers, be demanding. Tell and ask the developer when you purchase an apartment, which I do, is how green is it? And don't just take them for a greenwash kind of talk. Really talk into what is it that you are doing for us to need to live in the building. That goes with clean water, it goes with the air condition. You will be challenged a lot of extra bills because they put a one-layer glass in, the noise pollution, that's just very simple things. Water is the big thing, and it's something they can solve if they want to spend a little more money. I think that's where I want to start.
Yes, I do have my. Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Rosie. I'm the founder of Social ChangeMakers, which is a very small nonprofit, very young and vibrant. And recently, we also started a charity shop, which is called Chan's Charity Shop. What we do is we're trying to build a community that focuses on do good, feel good, be good, as simple as it is. What it means is that it's a mini ecosystem, that everything we do focuses around social impact. And we have a surprise prepared for you. We're talking about charity shop. People usually think or wonder, what do we find in a charity shop? So we want to show you a mini fashion show of what you can find at the shop, and also other things that you can find at the shop at the table over there at the corner. So at the end, you can go and have a look. We only bring a few stuff. But yeah, so we have a mini fashion show. If the music starts now, then our model will come up. So they will come in one by one for you to see. Oh, don't stop the music.
Keep the music.
Keep the music going.
It was internet.
Oh, it was internet. So the first one is Chum. She actually worked here at the hotel. Funny story, I lost my model, so I asked the hotel staff to help. And they stepped in, give it up for Chum. She is the Barbie queen of October, right? Everything she wears, from the scrunchie to the dress and the necklace and the scrunchie are handmade. And this is Teen at the Sky. Very interesting top, no? The scrunchie on his hand, the hat, and also the tote bag. The tote bag is recycled from aprons, from used apron that are brought in. We recycle them into tote bag. And then the next one, the next two are very interesting. Recently, we have an event called Dance, Fashion and Art. So there's a sustainable fashion brand. They donated 6 outfits for the event. So usually just once off time. After they did the job, we keep the outfit. And now we have them at the shop, and we recycle them, repurpose them into Halloween outfit. And this is the geisha, our version of the. If you see the event, it actually looks different than this, completely different. When the dancers wear them, they actually touch into the pants on the stage, and they just hug each other, and then become that. Go on, don't shy. So this is the male version of the Japanese a dead samurai, Japanese style culture kind of, also from the same event.
Didn't you have charity shoes for him?
We didn't bring any shoe, and he preferred this look. He preferred not wearing shoe, and I like it. And this is Soline, everyone. Soline is wearing a blouse, very beautiful. Earring, necklace, and all of that are Photoshop. Everything. Next we have Kasten. Kasten is wearing a Tweety jacket, really cool, right? And a tote bag that also recycled from previous apron and t-shirt and different things. The last model we have is Lara. Lara actually having two outfits on. The first one is a Japanese kimono and the tote bag that repurposed from recycled stuff. And that's another outfit from the other the show, and you can see the similarity. Yeah. So yeah, here we go. Change every shop. Thank you very much, Moya. Thank you, the hotel staff over here. Step in to help. And these are actually friends who also step in to help. I just quickly mentioned that. So that's what I want to quickly mention. Our handsome speaker from earlier, Chu Lang, is also a customer of the shop. Say hello, Chu Lang. Where's your favorite bomber jacket from the shop? It's too hot today, okay. And we have Kelly, the speaker from earlier, from upstairs, from the panel. Kelly, the girl in pink, she got so many beautiful dresses from the shop. Just these are the testament that we have a lot of good things. You want to buy a kimono shirt. So,
Done already. Wow.
Okay.
Good job, friends. So I'm just going to ask, I actually want this to be very interactive because I think we've been sitting together for a long time and haven't been talking. But so I want to know from the two of you, what does eco-friendly mean to you in terms of your own lifestyle? How are you integrating sort of eco-friendly lifestyle in your home, in your work? Besides clients, forget clients. Let's not talk about clients. As I look at my client.
You start, Lucy? Go first. Okay, I was speaking a lot during the financial, but I can go on. So for myself, I try to be mindful of every little thing that we do. I don't think we have to do something big to be eco-friendly. It's people talk a lot about reduce, reuse, recycle, but do we know what it means? For me, it means reduce in terms of you don't buy what you don't need. Things maybe several times. In Vietnamese culture, we say think 7 times before you speak. I think 7 times before I buy something.
Whoa.
Just like, do you need this? Do I have something similar at home? To try to reduce what you buy. Reuse means that, like you see the kimono guy shopping, reuse it into another purpose, repurpose it. And recycle the bag. It's maybe a nice top that you like. I have some top that I have from long time ago with the little holes, but I love it so much because it's so comfortable. So instead of wearing it and feel embarrassed with the little hole, keep it and then recycle into a top bag or something else. Conserve energy at home. Turn off the light. Really simple. We all do it. Turn off the light. Turn off the water tap. Make sure that water is not dripping overnight. Don't use too much. Take quick shower. Not too long. The little things that we do every day. When you go shopping, have a little. I have a fruit bag, and the lady on the street on the market always look at me and say, "What is this? I have bags for you." I'm like, "Thank you, but I have this thing."
The lady at the market also knows me as the weird lady with the bags. So she'll put it into the plastic bag, weigh it, and then I'm like, okay, and then I take it out, and she's like, oh, you again? But now when she sees me, she's like, okay.
Yeah.
She knows.
Yeah. We are the weird lady traveling with our shopping bags.
Yes. Weird, eco-friendly ladies.
Yeah.
FONG-CHAN?
Well, sounds horrible, but I don't actually have time to shop, so I need to monitor my staff, tell them what I like to do. So I know that my maid, she goes and she gets all the detergents and the hand soap and everything from something refill, and they make it naturally. Lately I've been trying to find these soap sheets instead of using all these plastic bottles of soap, because I don't think it ends up in a nice place in Vietnam, and I'm really thinking of the footprint I'm doing in my everyday living. I am being very cruel to my staff. I'm still is in terms of when they order in food, I'm saying like, hey, move your ass, go out and eat. Do not call and ask for order food. So easy. We provide coffee, but we provide tea and everything. You don't need to go and order your coffee. So there's all these things that every day say, hey, please be mindful, because it's your country. It's not even my country, but it's yours. Do you think about where you where you trash your things, what happens when you've done with your coffee cup, what happens when you're done with your styrofoam from chicken and rice thing when you're done with it. So these are the things that I'm trying to do. I even had a few years back for education, there were some guys here that were giving us the whole team and gave them the full ecosystem in terms of what happens and how we pollute or how we are part of polluting without knowing it. We started separating all our trash in the office. But the fact is that even though that we're doing it and I'm making it a point of that is organic, this is plastic, they all end up together in the end. So it's more like something, I just want to make sure that they understand it, and I want them to make sure that they give it to the children when they come back home. But I can see this is 3 years ago I did it, and right back to, bring plastic bags, ordering coffee. So I think it's a learning curve, to be honest. So I do think about it like I'd rather go out and have my breakfast or lunch than ordering it, really. And I feel really, really bad if I have to do, but I can also see that some of the places where I order food, that they do actually either offer you to tick for more eco-friendly packages, or they actually just bring in plastic bag that can be dissolved, or like everything is kind of in a way that can be sustainable. Just right. So I just want ourselves from the start, but also around us. And I just have to take the closest people around me and make them aware. Start with the awareness.
So when the organizers were planning this, they made me promise that I was not going to moderate because I'm old. Because the idea of this event originally was that we wanted to target young people, right? And really talk about sustainability to a young audience. And they were like, Jivan, you're too old for this, please don't moderate. But here I am. But I think what that speaks to, and I'm joking, Fung looks so sad and scared. No, I'm joking. Sure. I think what that speaks to, though, is, when we talk about the reason why we sort of target this towards next gen, towards millennial, towards Gen Z and plus, is because there's an opportunity in Vietnam now, right? That the older generation is changing hands to the next generation. And so we talked about this when we were preparing too, how different customers are, right? FONG-CHAN was telling me about how, developers and apartment owners for a long time are the previous generation. They're the baby boomers, they're the Gen Xers. And in Vietnam, that means that they don't really care that much about the environment, right? But now there's an opportunity now for the next gen. And I'm wondering what you think is the difference between sort of the older generation and the now generation, and what is the possibility of building in eco-friendly lifestyle here.
I actually think that the young generations do care about the environment, mostly because now there are more, media, there's more governmental policies slowly. We see the change, the positive change coming slowly to Vietnam. You see on social media as well. I think social media is something that gets to the new generations faster than everything else. And it's actually cool now to be eco-friendly. And if you're talking about the older generation, we are all sitting here, I think we kind of not qualified to be, talking to Gen Z. But it's cool to be eco-friendly. It's cool to have your tumbler, right? I think I see that because I used to teach at the university, and I could see that it's become a thing, and it's a good thing to be a cool thing, to be eco-friendly, and then slowly it becomes, it's just a natural habit. To do that. I don't know if the young people in the room would agree with me, but that's what I see. I see the positive side that young people care more. Back then, at your age, I don't think I cared that much. I didn't know. I was not educated. I was not told to be mindful about what I do, what I buy. But now I learn. But I think the new generation learn more. You get more information in. You're actually better than us, I think.
So, I grew up back in the 70s, and came up in the 80s and back in Europe and Denmark, and there was a huge oil crisis, and it meant that not only we had really to save cost and money, turn off the electricity, save the water. We've always been told so. But I guess I was always lucky to have parents that were promoting eco lifestyle. But that was back in the 70s, so you wouldn't call them anything else than hippies. And the rest of the world was just like, what are you onto? But they were really into it, and they meant it. So we left Copenhagen and we moved to somewhere out in the north of Dublin. And we lived a very sustainable life. So I grew up with it was really embarrassing, but it was very sustainable. So being so different on top of everything else, then also living a very sustainable life. But for us, it also became very natural. And I think for a lot of people who maybe grew up in the countryside, it's not that far away, to be honest. I like, you don't just flush all the water out of it. But maybe things like, now plastic is here, but it wasn't here for some time ago. And people were wrapping things in the banana leaves and what else you have, but then, so it's kind of like backwards what's happening in Vietnam in many ways. So I think it's really, it's educational. It's something where, I don't know how it comes from the government and down, and it comes from school and up, but it has to meet with, and then the general knowledge of just taking care of us and feel the responsibility. Because you are the next generation, and it means that right now we are about to burn the world, and someone said like, the world is not going to go down, we're going to go down, because we are literally sitting on the branch that we are soaring on. So everything we do, we just need to ask ourselves, am I being sustainable in how I sleep, how I eat, how I transport myself? Very simple thing. But how? I understand, but how? And I'm sure it's different here than it is in Denmark, for example. But we can ask the question and see if we can ask them, how do you transport yourself here in Vietnam? Motorbike. That's right. And so what are we trying to do? We're trying to, the next motorbike you're getting, is it run by electricity? That's one step. But at the same time, that's the step you can do as a person. But how is it with electricity in Vietnam? How are we producing electricity in Vietnam? And then the questions become bigger and bigger, because we have a lot of different sources of electricity. Unfortunately, I still think that it is the biggest source of electricity comes from black energy. Right, so we're still away, but we're working on it, right? But we need to believe in it and hand in hand do it together. So think about transportation as one thing.
So thank you very much. I wanted to give the chance to people who have questions, to throw out questions you might have. These two women are amazing experts in lifestyle. Oh, we have one here.
And maybe not even questions, maybe just what you think. Share your thoughts.
Yeah.
Of what we say. We can have a conversation.
Yeah, so I'd like to seek for like opinions, like when we're standing between a lot of eco-friendly choices, like do we need to sacrifice something to take the one that we want? Like for example, for myself, I usually go with my bike instead of motorbike for my daily life, but somehow that's gonna cause some like inconvenience, because if I go by bike, I don't want to carry much with my bag or my tumbler, so which means if I want to buy some food or some drinks, I'm gonna use the plastic bottle from the store. But if I use the motorbike, I can carry my bag, so which means I can carry all the tumbler or the box. So which means in that situation, I don't know what to choose. But currently, I'm choosing to ride in my bike. So I don't know. So if you are in my situation, what you gonna do?
So I come from this bicycle country, so there is solutions. So you can actually kind of build your bike with bike bags where you can have your stuff in, so you can transparent yourself. And at the same time, it's also about how much do you actually need to shop. And I know there's something that, so maybe you then say, okay, once a week when I do my shopping, I'll have to take my motorbike and do the heavy stuff. But on a daily basis, maybe I need my bike and I can have my 2 bike packs. Maybe that's a solution to be concerned.
Okay, the backpack, you put your tumbler in the backpack. If it's not too heavy, I think that could be an option, right? I think sometimes the tumbler, the water bottle can go with the bike. There's a frame, I don't know how you say it.
Like a water holder?
I think that you can put the water in, get a down backpack. Advertising the number. Get a recycle backpack and then get a tumbler. Yeah, I think it would work.
I will speak to what I hear because I relate very much to this, almost like anxiety, right? So I constantly worry, like, could I do this? Could I have done this better? Right? So sometimes it's like, oh, the other day I forgot what I was doing, and I ended up going to. I even choose which coffee shop I like. Like, for example, Highlands uses a lot of plastic, as an example, right? And so the other day I was making an appointment with somebody, and they said, oh, let's go to Highlands. And I said, oh, sure. And as soon as I got there, I was like, oh. But then what I have to remember, I think, is that there are lots of things out of my control. Right? I think Kelly said it before in her talk, I don't remember who it was, but so in terms of our individual contribution to just trying to make for a more environmentally safe place, right? I think we shouldn't try to beat ourselves up. The infrastructure here also does not always enable or make it easy for us to be perfectly eco-friendly, right? And so I just try across my week to week to just try to do certain things and be consistent about that. Oh, I think someone else said that before too. So for example, I committed this year, it's very hard for me, I'm not doing a good job. I committed to eating vegetarian more often. And so the only way I myself can make that work is to do it at lunch. I don't know why, but lunch seems to be easier, right? And for me, that makes sense. But I'm not going to judge somebody else that eats meat, right, all day long. For me, I'm trying to do this thing, and then I try to measure it, and then I try to be consistent. And if it's too hard, it's too hard, right? I think just the effort alone means a lot, which is part of the reason why we designed that sustainability pledge, is just to give 6 very simple actions, and then people can decide how intensively they contribute to that.
I do the same. Let me cut it. And again, don't blame or shame someone who wants their steak. I totally understand. I live with people who want their meat. So that's fine. But it's difficult. But you do it for yourself, right? But you also do it for thinking about how much it costs to produce the meat you're eating. And if you're eating a steak or whatever, make sure it's quality. Make sure that whatever you killed is someone that had a good life. It's worth it. Instead of putting your teeth in something that has a really sad life. There's some of these things that maybe it's worth to be conscious about. It's the whole value chain. And that's, I think we should all be more curious about where things are coming from. Ask the questions about your food, for example. Where does my food come from?
We have a question, Kelly.
Okay, I have a question. Actually, I want to ask into that because I think this is something can also address the concern about individual action is we need to have a community. So we cannot do it alone. I know that it can be very frustrated that when you are doing something, everybody look at you and see like you're a stranger. So I think that's why I really like what Rosie doing with the social change maker and change charity shop. It's not just going there buying things, but more like community. You go in there, you meet the people who share the same value, and it can keep you going. So my question is, how can you build that kind of community? Because individual action is amazing, but how can you have everybody coming together as community? Because it's what we do too, build a community of people who care about sustainability. So can you share on that?
Thank you for the questions. It's from the outside, it actually looks easy since we already there. People heard of social change maker. I think we make some noise. People know, But it's a lot of effort from me and from the team. We 100% volunteer, so we don't have the consistent work, with a paid employee. What we're trying to do is all sort of different activities to then people can come in, become a community, not just going to the shop as a customer. You can donate. You could also go to the workshop. So at the charity shop, we have the Chance Academy where you do arts. And then when you come to the workshop, you learn about the shop and you learn about other things. We have community hangout, language class, something simple as in, oh, maybe I want to improve my English. You can come to our community hangout, come to Spanish class. We also have Vietnamese class for foreigners. There's our community, a lot of foreigners and expats.
Lover of the Barbie movie.
Oh yeah, we just done the Barbie movie. We did Barbie movie with all the paintings. So those are different activities we do to then bring people to come in. You don't have to be to do something big again. Like we believe everything small, it comes from everyone. And you come in doing something for yourself. It could be yoga, it could be a class. And then you meet other people and you realize, they actually like me. Whatever we do, we think about the environments, we think about using second hand, go and buy things at the charity shop. Yes, yeah.
May I ask the audience? Because I think it's a very good question you have. So what kind of community that pops up in your head would be great to create?
And how do you build community? Even Daniel and Tao and Drew, you guys do a very specific thing, but you have peers, right? How are you keeping motivated to?
The table had turned everyone. Now we're interviewing everyone who's sitting down there. This is a plot twist. So
And even Kelly can answer that question since you were a community.
maybe put your hand up so that someone can give you the microphone. There. Yeah.
Minimalism is become more trendy and popular in my generation, and can we see it at a eco-friendly lifestyle? And when it comes to leading an eco-friendly lifestyle, I want to mention the generation gap. With our generation, less is more, but like my parents, everything needs to be materialized, and how we negotiate and how we can meet each other at the middle ground.
He turned the table back. Oh my goodness, he's good.
But can you change your parents from a maximalism to a minimalism
No,
in your own household? Question mark.
I know that I can change the mindset of my generation, but you
Mom and dad. Your mom and dad.
Yeah,
Can you change your mom and dad?
I know I can't change, but can you share some tips to we can negotiation and compromise with each other?
It's getting interesting. We're not prepared for this, everyone. Okay, so I will share this. It's maybe a little bit embarrassing, but I had this maybe a bit of fight and argument with my mom. I'm so glad it's not live today. So the generation you're talking about, the parent generation, there's a bit of a tendency to hold things, to keep things binding and keep them and don't throw anything away, which is a good thing. It's a good thing in one hand. It's in like you don't create waste going to the land. But then it's so much at home. Like I feel like home when I used to live with my mom, it was like a warehouse. But we had everything and everything. Even the bag that broke in, the shoes that I throw away, she's like, no, you can wear it. And she pulled it back in. So then when I become 18, that's when I know this is when I'm allowed to speak up. Because the Vietnamese culture, you're not allowed to speak up, disrespect your parents. So when I was 18, when my mom was not home, I got all of my friends to come, a whole tag team, and we clear out everything. Because to change, I think it needs some action. And I've been trying to talk and then we argue. Every time I start, we argue. So I'm like, okay, let's just go with it. So we clear out everything. Of course, only the thing that I don't think she need. And I keep organizing, and I also renovated the place. She came back to a new apartment. And it was like a 3-month renovation for the whole place too. The neighbor loved it, but we had 3 days of cold work. Nobody talked to each other. She was yelling at first. She came back, she was yelling. And then 3 days, no one talked. But then afterwards, a little bit later, she'd be like, okay, actually it's very nice. It's nice and clean, and you can see the flowers, She will see it, but you had to see with your parents where it would be, where the line would be. Like for me, I had to do that. Otherwise, no way it's going to change. I can't change her, but I can take action, and that pushed her to actually accept it. That okay, well, it's done now. So maybe she's still my daughter. So they can't disown you just because you try to educate them to be eco-friendly. They can disagree, yes. So that's my story.
I will just give an example. I will talk about clients. So I have one client, it's a family business, and so they make fans. Plastic. And so actually the son, he came to us, he's not running the business, but he asked us to help him start a very small recycling pilot where people can turn in the fan blades and then they can recycle. And so I said, how is this going to work if your father does not support you, right? If he's running the business, and they've been manufacturing fans for decades, right? And so you're changing something for him. And so for him, he said, very similar to what you said, which was, the entrance point is, of course, for them, it's the new environmental law, it's the fact that they may have to pay penalty, right? And using that as like, you're going to lose money, he will just do a small experiment. And then once he shows value with that, then it opens the door to a bigger discussion, right? But he knows that he cannot change his father overnight, that there's no way, right? The guy has been running the company the same way for years. And I find that that's how it works when we're talking to the older generation in Vietnam too about lots of different kinds of environmental impact things. It's like the entrance point may not be, you should do this because the earth needs you to do it, right? The entrance point might be, this will cost you money, this will get you in trouble with government, this will cost you customers, right? And then from there, then you have the bigger conversation about the environment later. But it's not easy. Like talking to my parents about recycling, very, very hard.
It takes patience.
But it's a style. I love it. And he knows where he can hit his dad, so to speak, on the pocket, right? So this is what happens, because people, there's two things, there's motivation and action, and what kind of motivation is there to actually change? Small things every day, oh, I need my coffee, just call Grab for my coffee, versus I'm going somewhere to get it, or versus there is maybe not as good coffee down in the cantina, but I can live with it. It's habits, and getting out of our habits. That's the most difficult thing. But if we just change a little bit, and think about if someone, the sentiment of maybe saving money, I know that is a big thing for almost everyone. So, for example, Highland Coffee, there's Highland Coffees everywhere. If they were offering, we will refill your cup you bring in, no matter where the cup comes from. Because I know that they reject to put coffee in a Starbucks coffee cup. So, instead of saying, hey, whatever coffee you come in with, I will refill it and you will get it cheaper. Whatever cheaper, 1,000, 2,000 Vietnamese done. Would that help? Would that help for you to actually bring your own cup and say, hey, I brought my own cup? It will, right? For many. Maybe for most. Refilling your own bottle. Do we have a refilling system here in Vietnam? Do we have a place where we can go and actually take clean water from somewhere?
So much.
No, but I mean, Helly, of course, has a business refill station, which is about, all kinds of household care products, and that you can have refill, but for water.
Yeah. That's a free channel on the street, but I think it's more like a charity side to help the street vendors and the stay-at-home Grab to get water. So that's kind of like the Vietnamese refill. Was that what you wanted to say?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was
Yeah, I love that. It's
Well, it also means that there's a practice already available that we can reinitiate. We have time for one more question, if you want. One more burning question.
or sharing.
Or idea. Daniel.
If no one else has a question, I was just gonna say because of what you mentioned about the Jeddah thing, what we've been mentioning is like how to change relatively new habits. So this advent of modernization or like fast consumption is relatively new in Vietnam. But per capita, Vietnam is actually not as bad as the US. In fact, I would say like one thing that we often forget as a younger generation in Vietnam is how do we bolster dying societal structures. So for example, I live in Hanoi, so every single ngõ or ham or alleyway I've ever lived in, there's been a couple things that are very sustainable. One is always someone who collects organic waste to go send to a pig farm.
Yep.
So you already have to sort your trash. The second is always someone who's a bán đổ nát. So it's like it's already someone who already collects recyclable stuff. And like they will sell back like, you know, cardboard stuff, you know, take all my cardboard stuff, they will sort through your trash. I think in the advent of modernization, we tend to forget or do away with that, and it's all organized by ZEUTHEN, you know, and I think that's something that we can bolster, and that's the language that the older generation will understand. And like for our distillery, for example, we live in a farming community, they all sort through our trash already, and I think that's something that we often can remember, is that sometimes like what we can change, but then also what we should bolster that's already existing.
I want to add in that there's an app now that we're talking about young generation with the mobile phone. There's an app called FONG-CHAN. You actually can ask them to come and collect your things. I asked them, but they didn't do anything for time yet. But I hope they expand. So that's a good thing. So there's an app, you put in your address and you tell them, they come in, they collect yours.
So just as an example of how well that app works, so in my apartment building, I sort because I prefer to sort my trash, and I have seen the informal waste workers see my trash and be happy that it's already pre-sorted, right? And then, so the cleaning ladies I have, they were like, what is she doing? They just put it on one bag. So then I explained to them, please keep it in separate bags. Okay, weird lady again. But then one day I came downstairs to the lobby, and the cleaning ladies were there, and I saw the logo of the app from the informal waste workers who were coming to pick up the recycling. And they were like, oh, Evan, we have this app. And you know, we get points and we get money from it. And I was like, I told you. But it doesn't matter, I don't care. The point is that something became that entry point that enabled, you know, this to work. And then that platform made it easy, right? I mean, those kinds of solutions is more of what we need.
Together, we guys are coming in, the young generation, create more apps. Create more apps that will make people collect points or what have you, or, you know, save up for drinks, or, I don't know, create points for something. Or make it as a game. How much have I done today? I don't know, create funny apps.
Well, this is the point of the sustainability pledge. I'm gonna have games. I'm gonna explain that later. I think that's all that we have time for. Thank you for staying with us till the end. I will just do a couple closing remarks just because we should. Number one, thank you to you all for coming and for engaging with us today. On behalf of Raise and etc., of course, I should thank our sponsors, Coca-Cola, British University Vietnam, and La Vie, our supporters, Carbon Farm and Equo, and our venue, Renaissance Riverside. And again, thank you all for coming and caring. And of course, we're here for a little longer if you want to have a chat. Thank you very much.
Also, the little pop-up shop is still there. If you want to help look what I brought along from the shop.
Not exactly a pop-up.
Not really pop, yeah.
And thank you very much. Thank you.